Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, X is going here with yet another new video. This is my 5th goddamn take on this video. So, without further ado, let's get right into a review in WandaVision. The goods and the bads of this show and my overall opinion on it. There are going to be some, not major, but there are going to be, actually some might be major. There are going to be some spoilers to the show, so go watch it if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, so let's get into the goods first. WandaVision, the first 3 episodes, in my opinion, damn near flawlessly pulled off. Genuinely, I have never enjoyed the first 3 episodes, and they're so disconnected in a way to the actual other episodes, because it takes place in a sitcom, those first 3. Specifically in the decades of the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, I believe. Maybe not, I don't know. But specifically those. And it is very interesting how they pull that off. Whether it's through the commercials, which have hidden meanings to them, or just through the overall style of the thing. It's damn near perfect. We pulled off those first few episodes, and that's already an automatic good, if not great, on my opinion. So, with those first 3 episodes, we get introduced to a lot of the characters, mainly Wanda, Vision, Agnes, and Wanda's children who are twins. We don't know if they have any powers in those first 3 episodes. We figure that out later. We also learn a lot more about Agnes and what is happening outside of Westview later. So, those first 3 episodes, perfect. Episode 4, I would argue, is potentially better than those first few, because it shows us the outside of Westview and what is happening, like what their response is to it. So, if you guys haven't watched it already, like I said, go watch it. But basically, Westview is inside of a hex that Wanda had put up. That is basically, she put up a hex to allow her to live with Vision and her children. Since Vision got destroyed in Infinity War, he's completely dead, as far as we know. So, episode 4 lays out a lot of the plot to what this series is going to become, with Hayward, Monica Rambeau, and Jimmy Woo. I can't remember the other girl's name, I'm sorry. But yeah, specifically those 4, actually. And we get to see how they're responding to the threat inside of Westview. They don't know how Wanda's doing this. However, Hayward, who is the director of S.W.O.R.D., is like, I got clearance to show you this tape. And he shows them a tape of Wanda stealing Vision's body. So, you know what? That's how we're thinking we get Vision. Okay, she stole his body and somehow put life into him. We don't know how, but that's what we can expect. That's what we are suspecting is the truth. Whether that's true or not, gets revealed later on. But that's what we are seeing as the truth as a viewer. Of course, later on, we also see Agnes, and big surprise appearance in, I want to say, episode 5 or 6. I can't remember which one. I'm so sorry. 5 or 6. Quicksilver arrives. Not normal Quicksilver. Not from the MCU. No. X-Men. Evan Peters Quicksilver. At that point, I was just like, hold on. What? This doesn't make sense. I was a very big suspect of this has to be them introducing the multiverse in this show. Like, introducing how they're going to show the X-Men through this show. Whether that's true or not, gets revealed later on. I'm not going to say much, but I can promise you that's not true. That is not how that X-Men series is shown. And yeah, so let's go back to Hayward for a second, because he's a really fleshed out character. To some extent. Although he does have some bads, which I will cover here also, because I'm talking about a specific character. Hayward, he really is a little trickster, because he is showing Sword like Wanda stealing Vision's body. What isn't shown, which is shown later, is actually that Wanda didn't steal his body. That's faked footage. She also wasn't nearly as aggressive as it was in that footage. And I'll be honest, I don't know how they got the footage if that wasn't the real footage. That's a plot hole. But whatever. I don't need that explained yet. It's fine. All I know is they were likely hoping that Wanda would like take Vision's corpse and put life into it so Hayward could use Vision to kill Wanda, because that is ultimately his goal. However, in my opinion, although he's a good villain, sometimes he's too much of a villain. It's weird. He doesn't always have that human side to him. He kind of just has, I'm bad for the sake of being bad, although I try to present myself as a good guy to some extent. Which throughout the first few episodes of him being there, mainly episode 4 and 5, I was like, oh yeah, you know, he's a good guy. He's just trying to help the people of Westview, maybe by killing Wanda, but maybe Wanda's the villain, as we can see in Westview. Who knows? That's later. Like, okay, no, just no. That's not it at all. But whatever. I rest my case. However, here's a big thing that I really enjoyed: how they got Vision to come back, and it was basically, yeah, Wanda used her magic, and she made the hex in order to make Vision and make her children later on. So it's sad how episode 9 ended, and we'll get to that because it's a really good ending. And yeah, the plot gets explained a lot more the further on you go, and I really enjoyed that. And the acting, oh my god, the fucking acting, god damn it, it's so good. It's so good. It just, it's classic Marvel acting. Like, it feels real. I haven't really had a Marvel movie, maybe outside of like 2 or 3, where the acting is even like moderately bad. Most of the time, it's pretty good. And this movie has really good acting show has really good acting. If I've been referring to it as a movie, my bad. But this show has really good acting to it, and I'm actually a very big fan of not only the actors, but the show itself, how it is presented. Let's get into episode 7, 8, and 9. I don't want this to be a really long review. Sorry if it's been choppy. My first ever review, so it's going to get better the further we go. But okay, the later episodes. Episode 7. Episode 7, I don't know if I was a fan of. I'll be honest. Episodes 7 and 8 were okay, but not really great. They're not on par with the rest of the episodes. They weren't filler. There was not one episode in this show, granted it's a 9-episode season, so you can't really have filler. But there wasn't any filler. It just wasn't as interesting as the other episodes were, which I guess it makes sense. Sometimes you need to slow down the plot to explain it more. And in episode 7 and 8, to be fair, they do introduce a lot of new things. Specifically, Agnes being Agatha Harkness, who is a witch in the comics, who is more of an anti-hero, but in this show, she is very much so the villain. She's trying to take Wanda's powers and use them for her own, as herself. And in episode 8, Wanda is revealed as the Scarlet Witch. That's the first time she's ever been called that. But outside of those two big things, there wasn't really all that much in WandaVision, which kind of sucks, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, oh well. it didn't add all that much, but the things that did add were very much so, well, nice to include and nice to have added in. By the way, I'm just stretching this out a little bit more so you can, like, you know, deal with it. Alright. Alright, but, yeah, so, those are really good episodes, in my opinion. However, not on par with the other episodes. The other episodes, again, I will state, are very, very, very good. Even, like, some other shows who have very good episodes. I don't think that those are on par with WandaVision most of the time. Some are better, but WandaVision just seemed really, really, really good to me, at least. Granted, I've watched all the Marvel movies. I've had a full experience through Marvel, and I understood everything. To people who didn't understand the plot coming into this, like my mom, she loved the show over time, but oh boy, were those first 3 episodes hell for her and my dad. Actually, the first, like, 4. But yeah, so those episodes, for me, were all really good, besides 7 and 8. 7 and 8 were average, maybe above average, slightly, but not anything I would rave about, because they didn't drive the plot all that much outside of introducing those characters, and then, like, sure, we get to learn more that Quicksilver isn't the real Quicksilver, but, and we also get to see Monica Rambeau, not Maria, Monica, to become, like, I can't think of the hero's name. We actually never got the hero name, but she becomes a superhero. She gets powers by entering the Hex. Probably was dormant, but she got them through entering the Hex. Like, they activated. So, yeah, that is a very interesting thing. However, it was in more of the slow episodes, which I'm not a big fan of. But oh boy, does episode 9 make up for it. Because episode 9 is full of not only action, actually it's pretty much all action, but it does have a little bit of plot drizzled in there to make it perfect. And it's a perfect ender for this show. Episode 9 ends with basically White Vision getting his memory restored by the real Vision, who lives inside of Westview, who doesn't have any memories of the outside, because the White Vision is the real Vision, but his data was, like, basically not encrypted, but, like, hidden from him, so he wouldn't have any memories of Wanda or his real life before, which Vision unlocks for him. And then, of course, the big old Wanda versus Agatha Harkness fight. It was great. I knew going into the fight, like, once the fight started and I saw Wanda starting to miss her shots on her, I was like, A, either she's really inaccurate, or B, she's doing something which was introduced in, I want to say, episode 7 or 8. Which is the spell, basically, where you can't use your own, where no other witch can use their spells inside of that hex, or inside of, like, wherever, whatever, inside of that hex. That's exactly what she did, and I was just like, I fucking knew it. And yeah, so basically, it's kind of a weak way of winning a fight, but it also makes complete sense, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And last but not least, Monica versus Shield, kind of mainly Monica versus Hayward and those who are following him. However, Wanda's children are there in the fight as well. So Monica, and specifically, I can't remember the kid's name. It's either Billy or Tommy. I want to say it's Tommy. Tommy is using his, like, telepathic, whatever. Who the fuck cares? Both powers, basically, to, like, stop a bullet that is going after him, because Monica wasn't able to block it. So, yeah, Monica takes a bunch of bullets. Her powers basically just slow that down. Her body, it looked like, became gelatin and just completely was fine. She's fine, didn't feel anything, and they move. And then episode 9 is ending. And oh my god, I actually fucking cried. I never cry at shows or movies. But holy shit, was episode 9's, like, ending sad. Because it was a great ending. But oh my god. Basically, Wanda's closing, like, ending the hex to let everyone go free. However, Vision and the children were only created inside of the hex. So that hex goes down, they all cease to exist besides Wanda. So she does that, and they're all saying their goodbyes, which was what actually made me very sad. And listen, Vision's my homie. I fucking love that character, dude. And yeah, it was a sad ending, but it was a very good ending. And it was followed up by 2 post-credit scenes. One being Monica and a Skrull who was disguised as, like, a sword agent being like, hey, a friend of your mom's wants you. And she's like, and then Monica is like, oh, who? And then she's like, he, and then where? And she just points up. So, I don't know who that could be, because it's a he. If it was a she, I would be like, it's fucking Captain Marvel. Oh, it's Captain Marvel, that makes sense. But if it's a he, it's like, who is it? Who is it, then? Because it's clearly not Captain Marvel. So, my mind is like, maybe introduction of the Fantastic Four, maybe Fury, who we already know is a character because it's been, like, every fucking Marvel movie ever. And he is confirmed in space through Spider-Man Far From Home. So, yeah, we know that could be him that she's talking about. But it also could just be an introduction to a brand new character that we haven't seen in the MCU, which I'm really excited for. And then, last but not least, the final fucking post-credit scene. Wanda flipping through the, what's it called? Here, let me pull it up. Sorry, the Darkhold, that's what it's called. She's reading the Darkhold, and probably my guess is trying to find a way to bring Vision and the boys who lived in Westview back to life. However, and this is potentially the biggest setup we've had in Marvel in a long time. We hear, like, the boys crying and they're in pain. What I'm guessing is through the multiverse. And keep in mind, Wanda is the Scarlet Witch. She is a Nexus being. She is capable of creating universes on her own. She can do whatever the fuck she wants, whenever she wants to do it. So the fact that she's hearing this, my guess is, it's through the multiverse. Guess what is planned on coming out later this fucking year? Outside of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is believed to include Wanda Maximoff as the Scarlet Witch. So my guess is that she's hopping between the fucking multiverses trying to find this, potentially destroying them on accident, only allowing Doctor Strange to be the one being in the in the multiverse that is capable of stopping her. So that's a perfect setup. And honestly, the show was very good. This is where we are going to give our final review. I know I didn't talk about that much bad stuff, because there really wasn't much. There was only a few slow episodes, in which some people might like that. The plot was not plot friendly to those who did not watch previous Marvel movies. However, the longer you watch WandaVision, the more the plot develops, and you can understand it without needing to watch those other Marvel movies. So give it a chance. After those first, like, 3 or 4 episodes, you'll be on board with everyone else, basically, besides maybe a few little things. But yeah, so my overall rating on this show, although I didn't really talk about that much negative stuff, is definitely 8.5 out of 10. Almost perfect, almost a 9 out of 10. But I felt like I could have done some things better. Specifically 7 and 8. Although 8 was more of showing Wanda's past and how she got her powers to the viewers, I personally would have been more interested in seeing Agatha being more of a villain, because in that she kind of seemed like more passive. Although she definitely was a villain, he really didn't display her as one as much as it did in the earlier and the final episode. In episode 7, overall review 8.5 out of 10 because of those reasons. Just because of 2 semi-slow episodes. Could have been better. Could have been worse. But overall wasn't too bad. It was a very, very, very good episode. And I think that what sets up, well, not episode, show. And I think that what sets up is huge. And I'm very excited for the new Marvel movies and the new, Marvel shows. Specifically, Captain America, well, not Captain America. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, sorry. I'm so used to just saying Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But, yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, super ready for that. And you best believe we'll be reviewing Season 1 on this channel when that's done. We'll also be reviewing a bunch of other shows and movies, specifically superhero movies and shows, because I personally really like those. But yeah, so well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button and consider subscribing for more content like this. Sorry if this review wasn't all that good. If it was a little choppy, that's my bad. But it's my first one, and please bear with me because I will be making better reviews. We'll also be making reviews of video games. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And a peace out, everybody. Bye.